Thanks for being here at this press briefing. As the minister responsible for the Ministry of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Traffic, and Telecommunication, I spent the various weeks, among others, acquainting myself with the different department and government-owned companies. My goal was to get a quick scan of the present situation of these companies and departments. We identified, among others, problem areas and discussed ways to improve where necessary and move forward where there are stagnation. My modus operandi is to first identify and prioritize those matters that require immediate attention. The ministry has the aim to be the primary institute for delivering policy for stimulation and facilitating of sustainable economic development and to become the effective facilitator of a growing, vibrant economy. In order for the Ministry of TIAT to achieve its objective, our focus will be on income generating, to streamline our processes, and build the capacity of our personnel to be able to provide efficient and effective services. As was stated in my previous press statement, my first priority is the establishment of the St. Martin Tourist Authority. The establishment of the STA is critical, and as such, it has my urgent attention. Contrary to what was stated in the media, I have not shelved the STA, but is moving forward with the foundation, and we have already started the process to advertise to fill the position of the director, who will be interim director, and be the one responsible for getting the STA up and running. I will keep the public and the media abreast of all the developments with the establishment of the STA, which will be taking place sooner rather than later. Secondly, I was honored to be present to have presented the Blue Flag Eco Label Award to two honorees, mainly the Ile de Sol Yacht Club and the Divi Little Bay Beach Resort. Once again, congratulations to both these entities for receiving this award, which recognizes their effort and achievement in protecting our beautiful beaches and the environment in general. This award is given to beaches, marinas, and boat yards that comply with very strict requirements. Both entities successfully faced the challenges and were able to maintain the environmental, educational, safety, and related criteria for the second consecutive years. Congratulations again to both of these entities. I want to encourage other properties and organizations to be vigilant in protecting our environment so that we can continue to have our beautiful beaches. These awards are also excellent marketing tools as it identifies St. Martin as a destination that cares about and protecting and preserving our beautiful, clean, and safe beaches for our residents and guests. As you are aware, I also did the inauguration of the new largest model Crane 6 and the container vessel Marseille. I refer to this again briefly because I want to highlight the fact that the harbor continues to improve its services by investing in human resources, which most recently the CEO of the port, Mr. Mingo, signed the human resource training agreement with the University of St. Martin under the banner, the 2016 Core Values for Program of Excellence, as well as the investment in the equipment, such as the new Gotwell Model Crane 6. The world around us is getting smaller and competition is fierce. Port St. Martin is number one in the Caribbean. In order for them to maintain their status, they need to keep investing in the human resources in order to continue on the track that has been built in making Port St. Martin the leading port in the Caribbean. I also recently had a presentation about Port St. Martin's strategic business plan and best approaches with respect to moving forward. I would like to express my appreciation of all those persons who directly or indirectly make a positive contribution to keep our competitive edge as we move on to the new year ahead and beyond. Keep up the good work to all of these entities. My absence during last week's press briefing was due to the fact that I had to formalize the legal basis for the collection of the outstanding fees owed by the casinos. Based on the National Ordinance on Duties for Game of Chance, holders of a license are obligated to pay duties to the government of St. Martin. The Article 5 of the National Ordinance states that the rules regarding the collection of the payment of said duties are to be established by national decree incorporating general measures. The Article 4 of this decree gives the Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Traffic and Telecommunication the authority to establish these rules for the collection of the casino controllers' fees by ministerial decree. The fees are levied based on the amount of doors of a casino that has opened to the public, as well as the average monthly wage costs and social premiums. The ministerial decree was signed and published in the National Gazette. Therefore, this gives the Minister of Finance the authorization to mandate the head of the receiver's office to proceed in the collection of these fees. 2 weeks ago, one of the members of the press asked me about the Regina La Vega case. As I stated, I am following it very dearly, but I am still awaiting the decision pertaining to her suspension and her appeal case against the VDSM report. I hope that we will come to a solution very soonly that will be acceptable for both parties. I recently also had an introductory meeting at the airport, and as such, we focus our attention towards the growing concern that the airports are facing now. I was updated on the present plans and the future projects. The plans and projects are very promising, and it will take St. Martin to the next level. I informed them that we must do everything together with our hub partners to keep St. Martin as the regional international hub. I won't be going into details at this moment, but I am sure in the present, the airport and myself will be informing the press and the media of the latest developments. Finally, there are many bumps along the road as we move forward towards establishing St. Martin once again as the premier destination for the more affluent visitor. The island is in need of a sustainable growth and much diversification as possible. I hear and understand the frustration and the plight of the people and those who have not received timely responses. Make no mistake, jumping to unfounded conclusions by some, for whatever reasons, is not helpful to anyone. I want to use my effort and energy to produce long-lasting and positive results for our island. I intend to be focused on dealing with the roadblocks and being a facilitator and working together with everyone who are in good faith to make good things happen for St. Martin and its people. I am grateful and thankful for the opportunity to do my share as long as it takes. St. Martin deserves a bright future. I ask you, whoever you are, wherever you are, in the public sector or private sector, if you truly care for St. Martin, I ask you please to join me on this path forward. As the Minister in charge of Tourism and Economic Destiny, I would like to take St. Martin to the higher heights, and I'm thankful and grateful to God Almighty for giving me faith and wisdom, strong family, and the support staff and the support of the Council of Ministers to take St. Martin and its people to a brighter and safe future. I want to wish my fellow ministers, the people of St. Martin, the media, and everyone listening to me now, a very happy, merry, and blessed St. Martin's weekend. May God bless you all.
Yesterday, I finally presented the budget to the Council of Ministers. and a meeting has been scheduled for tomorrow morning, 9:30, to go through the broad budget and to get the budget approved. It pleases me to share with you that the budget is a balanced budget for the year 2016. It took some acrobatic moves, but don't remember a budget is a projection that steps will have to be taken to make certain that we follow the path that the budget has outlined and not depart from it. A budget is a road that has a starting point and a destination. On that road, of course, you can meet boulders that have fallen on the road that you'll have to go around, or you might find trees that fell on the road that disturbs your path. But at the end, you've got to make sure that every time you find such an obstacle, that you go around it and get back on path in order for you to reach your destination at the end of the year. And that has been the problem in the past, that we prepare budgets and then don't stick to the budget. And that's the way we end up with the humongous amount of debt that we face today. We have to make a start to make a dent in that mountain of debt that we built up. We cannot continue as business as usual. So I intend to put a program in place that will be monitoring the budgets of the various ministries on a regular basis to see if anywhere they have run into a boulder that disturbs the path that has been chosen, and to take steps to make certain that they get back on the path as soon as possible, so that at the end of the road they could be reaching their destination. I would also like to share with you that after my visit to Holland, it was agreed and discussed that a delegation from Holland would be coming to St. Martin to sit down to discuss several issues that have been pending and have been sources of frustration. That meeting, unfortunately, has been postponed. It did not go through. It has been postponed because at the time, it was unclear as to what would be happening with the LB regarding when elections will be held, and clarity wanted to be obtained about that by the Dutch government before we could sit down to map out the path going forward. So it's hoped that that meeting will be rescheduled shortly. When I became minister, I immediately tried to take stock of the situation we were in financially. I removed the cover from the cistern, looked into the cistern to see what was in the cistern. And what I saw was not attractive. What I saw was a situation that was frightening. This situation with the cistern has been existing for years. What happened before is the cistern was opened up, they saw the frightening situation, and then they put the cover back in the cistern and behaved like nothing happened. I choose not to put the cover back on the cistern, but to try to take steps to clean out the cistern so that we could have healthy, clean water going forward. It's a task that's going to last a long time. But I am convinced that if we put our shoulders under cleaning up the cistern, that eventually we will reach our goal. I'm convinced that that will happen, but it's going to take discipline, it's going to take patience, it's going to take cooperation from everybody in order for us to reach that goal. And that brings me to the situation that occurred last week, Saturday, at the airport, where we had two inaugural fights, very busy, and we ended up with long, long lines of tourists who suffered discomfort, who met a situation that does not signal to them that we have our situation under control and we are here to provide them a good time and a good stay on the island. It occurred because a couple of immigration officers who had to clear all these tourists coming in left because they had to go to a meeting. That is a situation that's quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate because it does not help the situation that we're in. It aggravates it. We have to expand this economy. We have to get more tourists in. We need to increase the revenues that we earn annually. And we can only do that by being better at the only product, the pillar of our economy, and that is tourism. Of course, this situation that we're in creates frustration, which I understand. Creates frustration for everyone. But that frustration is not going to be helped by making matters worse than they are. It takes cooperation, patience. You don't cut off your nose to spite your face. Now, about 2.5 weeks ago to 3 weeks, I met with the union of the police organization. They had an agenda, a long list of items that go back 6 years. And we went through each one of those items. And then I had opportunity to explain to them what the financial situation of the country is, and to let them know that I'm working on the budget for 2016, and I need an opportunity to address all of the issues. Most of them were not mentioned in detail. Lo and behold, that some of the issues regarding promotions, regarding payments, were already approved. And this information I only found out or got to know yesterday. Were already approved. The paperwork relative to all of these payments seem to have disappeared. And this is a problem throughout government, that documents keep mysteriously disappearing and lends to dissatisfaction, lends to confusion. A sort of a manhunt was started to find where these documents were, to be able to execute them because they were already approved. That was not an easy task for my cabinet at the Ministry of Justice, but eventually they were found. Some were half completed. In fact, it was only yesterday afternoon at 5 o'clock that these documents landed on my desk, and when I looked at them, they had negative advices from the various departments that related to there are no funds. That's the situation that I was confronted with, that I was trying to get to the bottom of, and finally yesterday afternoon, 5 o'clock, we got to the bottom of it. At any rate, some have been managed to complete, some have been able to get done, and some I had to hold until January. If a minister, according to the articles in our criminal code, signs any document obligating the government to pay any money for which he knows there are no funds, it is punishable by law with a jail imprisonment of maximum 3 years. That law is there for a reason. It's there so that you're forced to stick to your budget and not amount 183 million in debt that you have difficulties to pay. At any rate, I think go forward, we need to learn to work together, understand each other's problems, give people room to solve those problems, and with some goodwill, they eventually will be solved. Nevertheless, I want to say that if I'm a minister for 1 minute, 1 day, 30 days, or a month, the confusion which exists in departments is my responsibility, and I accept that responsibility and apologize for the confusion that's there. It's a problem that has to be fixed throughout government, and it will be fixed, but it will take time to get it fixed the way it should be fixed. I think I'd like to use this opportunity to wish each and every one a merry and blessed Christmas. We have problems, but this is a season, this is a time of the year that we should get together and be merry and celebrate what Christmas is all about. I have a little secret that I want to share with you. If you want to have a happy Christmas, a Merry Christmas, make sure that mom is happy. If mom is happy, she will see to it that you have a wonderful Christmas.
Important to note, especially going into the holiday, is that, of course, I did mention this before, the study financing applications are open until mid-January, and so all students must get their documents in on time in order to be, processed. But besides that, this is the last year in which we and all other countries in the Dutch Kingdom will be enjoying ministers' places, ministerplaatsen as they are known. They are reserved study places for future students of St. Martin, specifically for St. Martin, who graduate and can take part in graduate and university studies, which we call the HBO and the WO studies, especially those which have registration restrictions. As some may know, if they have applied, some schools only allow lottery system for entrance, and others there's a restriction in general, and not everyone gets the opportunity, even though that may be their dream. As this year is the last, we would really like to emphasize it for our students. It was brought to my attention that none actually applied last year, so we lost that opportunity. But there are 6 places available this year. 3 for the Habeo level, and 3 for the WAO level. The deadline for registration is May 15th, and the brochure is available online at the ministry's website. And all of the information has also been sent on to the schools with the exam candidates so that they can have this information. But I thought it pertinent to repeat it here because it is something that we should not miss out on. Why this is the last, I think we've been saying this for the past 3 years, we've known for the past 3 years that this was the last, is because of the Netherlands realizing that there are many, many students studying the same subjects, that many of these students, once they've completed, cannot get jobs in their field, and therefore they are, I guess, in the Netherlands becoming an overeducated population, which of course translates and has a negative effect on us. But it is also why the Netherlands has also opted to allocate funding for studying in the region to kind of balance that where students wouldn't have the opportunity. So as a reminder, 6 ministers' places are still available, and all of the information is in a booklet which can be found on the website for all those who are interested. I would also like to, in the spirit of Christmas, thank the Department of Youth, which had its last Youth Rights of the Child activity on Sunday, culminating in a Christmas party at the Little League Ballpark, where Santa was able to, they celebrated with food and drinks, and children were able to receive gifts. So I'd like to thank all the volunteers as well as the ministry staff who made this a great success. Also, in a first-time attempt, though coming in quite late and close to the Christmas season, we were able to put together a quick one-day serenading spectacular, which took place also on Sunday at 4 p.m. and went straight through 8 p.m. on the Rooster Party bus. I don't know if the public noticed this big red bus with many people on it singing and sharing the Christmas spirit. And I'm hoping that it was a blessing to those who were able to witness it. I apologize for those districts which the bus was unable to get into because it's a pretty big bus and turning around is a problem. But it is something that we hope to be able to do on an annual basis. Originally, it was planned to take place over 5 days, but of course, due to budget constraints and still wanting to be able to spread that Christmas cheer, we were able to narrow it down to 1. So the possibilities to really stop and really enjoy it within the districts did not present itself as we had planned, but we were able to go through several districts. The community that took part seemed to enjoy it. We had music teachers, civil servants and their families, as well as community members on board, singing, enjoying the Christmas festivities. Many local Christmas songs also were played via the speakers, and I believe it was a delight for those who were able to enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to us in the years to come bringing back the old serenading so that we can celebrate Christmas St. Martin's